From beautiful old cars to reliable new ones.
Yes.
Morning, guys. Morning Espresso viewers. Now, normally we push the boundaries of stubble on national television, but this morning we are pushing the boundaries of affordability, practicality, and South Africanness.
South Africanality.
That's better.
Yes,
That
okay,
one.
well, let's go with that. Yeah,
And it's the new Toyota Corolla.
It is the new Toyota Corolla. I think Toyota just make these to just make everyone realize how old they're getting. Everyone's going to be like, I can't believe the World Cup was 4 years ago. What have I done with my life? And now there's a new Corolla. So
yeah, start yoga and that
yeah,
sort of thing.
exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, that's because you measure things in World Cups.
Yes, sadly I do. I use World Cups as a kind of a milestone for my life. And
well, I was, you know, South Africans measure in Corolla years. I was born in the 6th generation era.
The 6th dynasty, yes. I think only
Corolla.
motoring journalists do that, sure. But anyway, this has a lot to live up to. This is their best Corolla ever, but they kind of have to say that because it is the latest one. It's the 11th generation.
They can't say, yes, we peaked at the 7th.
Exactly.
Now, in 1975, South Africans were introduced to the 3rd generation Corolla, and since then, over 1 million of these, or just nearly 1 million of these, have found homes in our country. But back then, South Korea wasn't doing very much, and they certainly weren't making cars that people buy, lots of them. Yeah. So this Corolla has a fight on its hands. It has to be very good.
In fact, there's a lot of similarities between the Japanese and the South Koreans. When the Japanese first started off, they weren't seen to be given any hope, and then they dominated the whole world.
Exactly.
So the South Koreans are coming now, and the Japanese have to be really on their game. So are they, Chiro?
Well, you know what? I think this is a car for everyone.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. I mean, whether you're a mom, a dad, a grandparent, a student, or a sales rep, any type of South African, this car is for you. This car is just trying to be the very best at just being a very good car.
A very good car,
That's
indeed.
it.
Right.
It's not trying to be the loudest or the fastest or the room. It's just trying to do everything brilliantly.
So let's take everyone through the interior.
Let's just have a look inside here.
We'll climb in here. Follow us inside. Okay, now we are in quite a high-spec model.
Yes.
Which is a nice place to be. But the good news is that about 60 to 70% of the range gets all this sort of treatment, this really nice touchscreen here, which I think is very easy to use. Whoops, let's turn that off.
Yes, it's
Very
a bit
nice.
of Lexus in here, Chiro, which is not a bad thing at all.
No,
and this,
not at all.
And everyone comes with air conditioning and power steering standard.
Yep,
And the
exactly.
higher up specs get climate control.
Yep.
What I like about it, and I'm sure if any of you do a lot of time on the highway, you'll agree with me, there's nothing better than a dashboard that you can drum along on. The gap between the steering wheel and the dashboard is such that I can drum up here, I can drum down there, to whatever I'm listening to when I'm in traffic, and this is just perfect for if you've got the window open.
Yeah, so you can get a rep tan.
Exactly.
Well, if you're not terribly interested
rejoice.
in drumming yourself, there is a good sound system in here as well.
Absolutely.
This is a manual, but you do get an auto box, so don't worry about that.
It's a CVT though, isn't it, Chair?
Yep, CVT, so very, very good for fuel consumption. Now,
Absolutely.
Toyota are claiming best-in-class rear legroom, and I can't really vouch for such things. You can.
I certainly can. It's actually, there's more space in the back here than an Aston Martin Rapide.
I can't believe that. I just can't
and
believe that.
And that costs 3.3 million rand.
Yeah, and then you get all this rear leg
so
space,
much room.
and then you get this huge boot. I mean, it's massive. It's a bit dark in there, so we can't really show you, but I could very happily get in the boot, actually.
And the best thing about this car is it doesn't use any fuel.
No, it doesn't. That's because this is the diesel, and it's a 1.4 turbo diesel. Now, it's one of 4 engines on offer at launch. There's 3 petrols, a 1.3, a 1.6, and a 1.8.
Which is the one you would have.
Exactly.
Yes.
I haven't driven the 1.3. I wasn't very impressed with the 1.6.
Yeah.
But interestingly, the diesel is cheaper than the 1.8. So you'll save money on your initial purchase, and then every single day when you go to a petrol station, you'll save money as well.
To put that into perspective, last night the reserve light came on and said you've only got 93 kilometers left to go. So I thought, well, that's a bit like your bank manager phoning saying, well, you only got 2 million rand left till payday. I thought, well, it was a nice surprise. It really is an economical car.
So because you're a South African, you might be thinking about buying one of these, and the most affordable Corolla starts at 214,000 rand. The most affordable diesel comes in at 231, and the most 234, and the most affordable 1.8, which is the one I recommend to all of you, is 251,000.
And also, people must remember that Corollas are meant to be fun to drive, and these are really perky cars.
Yes.
They really are a lot of fun.
Well, at the launch, they explained that the Japanese have this principle of wakudoki.
Yes, of course they do, yeah.
Which they explained by saying it's that feeling you get when you're about to pick up a girl for your first date. So,
Sounds like something that would come later in a date, wakudoki, but anyway.
There we go. South Africans, ladies and gentlemen, the brand new Toyota Corolla is here.
We wish it all the best.